So it's time for the penultimate qualifying heat for the DD2 class, one of three classes that the overall race weekend winner will take home a nice looking entry ticket for the grand finals later on this year, to be held at the Circuito Internazionale Napoli in Sarno, southern Italy, for the 20th running of the event. So 20 competitors, and the lineups are as follows. B&L defending DD2 champion Zander Przyblak will have Piotr Wisnicki from Poland, who luckily enough got a ticket to go to the grand finals in Brazil last year. Niklas Grenz and David Remy. Remy moving up from Senior Max to DD2 this year. That rounds out the top two rows. Ahead of Ville Villainen with Luca Munaretto from Italy, Mark Bartels and Marcel Steinert rounding out the top eight, with Johan Andersson and Max Fleischmann. Good to see him back in some capacity. I've been asking this guy since the beginning of the B&L season, where are you racing? He's surprised me with an entry into the Euro Trophy Open, so thank you, Maxi, for coming back. Peter Bezel and Emil Antonsson ran out the top 12 places ahead of Matthias Stahl, Sivert Moiland, Jusso Pantila, Walter Svidris, Marcus Heimbüchner, Barry Pullinger from the United Kingdom, Daniel Oberheuter and Antoine Gonsalves from France. That's the 20 strong. We're now starting to get into formation. Current air temperature, it is around 23 degrees Celsius. Local time has just gone 12 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. So it's Przyblak, Wisnicki, Grenz, Remy, Villainen, Munaretto, Bartels, Steinert, Andersson and Fleischmann. That is the top 10. 20 drivers, 10 minutes on the clock has been set into play. The red lights are on the starting gantry for the second of three qualifying heats. Groups B and C. Now, there's been a bit of a pile-up involving the 410 of Mark Bartels. As the drivers, now that's 4 carts involved there. So that's Andersson, Peter Bezel and Matthias Dahl that have just, well, no, hang on. Marcus Heimbüchner, I think I spotted there in the 417. So we had the red lights go out, and there was a 4-cart bumper, well, a fender bender, if you want to call it that, in the United States. So the race is now continuing to go, as we've got some great squabbles at the top end of the field, with about 12 carts. Literally, so David Remy up into is in 4th position. Good charge there by, I think that might be Niklas Grenz, trying to get past. Let's just see who's in front at the moment. I think that is, yep, that's Przyblak on the 422. Wisnicki coming under increased pressure from Niklas Grenz from Germany, from 42 competition, running on the KR chassis. So top 6, you can't really separate them at the moment, and the back end of that top 6 is Max Fleischmann from Germany, who finished runner-up to Martin Henkel Mortensen last year in the Euro Trophy season, and also had the opportunity to go to Conde Pareba in Brazil, and who also spanners from time to time for Jan Schwitter from Switzerland, who is under the FM stable now, having switched teams for 2019. As Wisnicki was looking incredibly feisty and could have put it past Zander Przyblak for the lead of the race. Barry Pullinger is now up into the top 10 and is about 3.5 tenths of a second behind Luca Munaretto from Italy. Emil Antonsson rounds out the top 8 behind Marcel Steinert, who's currently sitting in 7th position, and could be closing on the top 6 train that is being led by Zander Przyblak, who's running under the Buben Power stable. And Wisnicki's going to go for the lead. Does he take it in turn 12? Yes, he does. But Schublack initially back on the offensive, side by side between the pair at the front. And Nicolas Grens bumps Schublack from behind. And that nearly allows Wisnicki to go back up the inside into turn 2. But now he's been hung out to dry. He's dropped back and has got David Remy breathing down his back bumper, heading into turn number 6. So at the moment, still very feisty between the top 7 drivers. And then there are 4 karts behind, being led by Luca Muneretto from Italy, with Antonsen, Moyland and Pullinger is now with them. So he's up into 11th place, having started 18th. So the Brit showing a customary fight back, as we've seen previously in the B&L karting series. A little bit further back is Valter Svidris and Juuso Pantila from Finland. So the Finn in the 451 round, completing the top 13 at the minute. Still very much even Stevens between the top 7 at the moment. So Schublack leads with Grens, Wisnicki, Remy, Villilainen, Fleischmann, Steiner, Muneretto, Antonsen and Moyland. They're all separated by just over 2.6 seconds. Meanwhile at the back you've got Bartels leading the quartet from 17th to 20th, but is just fractionally ahead of Peter Basel. And now we have Marcel Steinert very close to Max Fleischmann for 6th position at the minute. Leaders come through. You can't really separate them at the moment. They've got just over 5.5 minutes plus 1 additional lap to go in this second of 3 heats for qualification. Best lap at the moment has been set by Matthias Dahl, who's currently 20th in the minute, has done us a 54.547. Top 6 will maybe even make that the top 9. No, actually the majority of the field have gone sub 55 in this race at some point. But Schublack, as we now hit half-time distance here. So Schublack continues to lead. Wisnicki in 2nd position. Grens now back into 3rd, ahead of David Remy from Sweden, Ville Villilainen, Max Fleischmann, Marcel Steinert. That's the top 7 at the minute. And just keeping an eye on some of the lap times that Luca Muneretto is doing at the moment. Muneretto was fractionally faster than Steinert on that particular lap. As, whoa, that was a throw it out of nowhere and then lose out because Nicolas Grens. Oh! Now, was that Remy fired off at turn 3? Remy's fired off at turn 3. That's a real shame for the Swede, because what basically happened there was that Wisnicki went up the inside of Schublack. Grens managed to leapfrog the pair of them, and Remy, I think, was just hung out to dry. Not very happy is the Swede. So that's really changed the dynamic of what was going to be an exciting race, and it just takes a fraction of distance for something to just set things wrong. And unfortunately, David Remy was the unwilling recipient of said altercation. So Grens leads, and that is from Schublack. Villilainen has now gone up into 3rd as a result of that. Steinert and Fleischmann and Muneretto round out the top 6 drivers, and the other driver involved was Piotr Wisnicki. So Wisnicki not having a good time either. So David Remy now off, is now safe at the first marshal post on the track, heading towards turn number 2. It's a real shame to see the Swedes race come to an early halt. So 3 minutes to go plus an additional lap. Nicolas Grens still leads. So the German ahead of the son of Schublack. Ville Villilainen is closing, and closed by quite a considerable margin last time out, and is within 2/10 of the Belgian, who knows this track very, very well indeed. Marcel Steinert is ahead of Max Fleischmann with Luca Munaretto, who's running on the Birlart chassis this weekend. And you've got Emil Antonsson running on the X-Prix chassis, ahead of Sivert Moiland, who's running on the Tony Kart chassis. Barry Pullinger running with Dan Holland Racing completes the top 9 ahead of Finland's Jusso Panttila. As we've got a great little battle here. Now, Villelainen has got past Zander Przyblak for second position. So Przyblak now already on the back foot, having lost out to the lead. And now he's trying to fight back against Villelainen, but and then it's a little bit of a distance between Przyblak and Steinert, with both Piotr Wisnicki and David Remy not taking any further part in this race. So down to 18 combatants. So Grenz's lead over Villelainen now to nearly 0.8 of a second, as we're into the last 70 seconds, plus an additional lap here in the second of 3 heats for DD2. And there's a bumper grid, almost 30 in this particular occasion. So Grenz's lead now will be 0.729. Oh, we've had a wheel go loose. Who's that? Was that Przyblak? Przyblak is off, and that was the right rear tyre that came asunder from his kart and put him off. So that's an... Now I'm wondering, was that as a result of that collision with Wisnicki and Remy? So Przyblak may have just... Yeah, so that was a sudden failure. The tyre just went hopping and skipping and jumping away. So Przyblak now out of the kart and out of the race. So 3 drivers out following an earlier altercation. And we have a 5-second penalty being issued, I think, for 4:16, and that is for Villelainen. So could that have been for a collision being caused? So Villelainen will not take second position. So that could probably drop him towards the end of the top 10. So it is the final lap of the race, with drama for both Wisnicki, Remy, and then a sudden right rear tyre failure. Well, it literally flew off from the... So yes, Villelainen has been basically given a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. So Villelainen will go down into roundabout 9th position by my count there. But for Germany, it's going to be a nice little victory for Niklas Grenz, who kept out of trouble and took the chance when it presented itself to take the win. Villelainen was second, but will drop down the order significantly as a result of that. So Marcel Steinert will take second position, with Maxi Fleischmann making it a clean sweep at the top 3 for Germany. Luca Munaretto finishes in 4th position, having started in 6th place, ahead of Emil Antonsson rounding out the top 5, with Przyblak being the most spectacular of unwilling casualties, with that right rear tyre coming asunder from the rear axle, putting him onto the grass just off towards turn number 2. Niklas Grenz wins the race by 2.2 seconds ahead of Marcel Steinert, with Max Fleischmann rounding out the top 3 for Germany. Then it was Italy's Luca Munaretto. Emil Antonsson and Sivert Moiland rounded out the top 6 ahead of Villelainen, who finished there as a result of a 5-second penalty. Jusso Panttila made it 2 Finns in the top 10 ahead of Barry Pullinger and Daniel Oberheuter rounding out the top 10, with Walter Svidris, Antoine Gonçalves, Markus Heimbuchner, Peter Bezel, Mark Bartels, Matthias Dahl and Johan Andersson being the last of the classified finishers, with Zander Przyblak missing out 2 laps from the end with that right rear tyre coming asunder, with Piotr Wisnicki and David Remy being 2 other eliminees after that race.